Welcome to week 8 of Fakakta Fakasha, where two adults try to eat for $50 a week in food money for 1 year. Here is our list. You can pause, take a picture, whatever you like. Total for this week, $48.09. That leaves $1.91 to put in our piggy bank this week, running total $9.28. Here's our pantry from last week. Looks like we have a lot of rice left. A couple of summer sausages. 3 eggs, butter, whipped cream, bacon fat. One of my meals, bread, a bunch of cheese. Some beans. Here we have a bunch of refried beans on the right, a couple of pork butts on the left, and if I recall, 4 ice cream sandwiches left. Here is our haul, and maybe the prettiest red leaf lettuce you ever did see. We also have a Red Baron pizza, 6 pounds of chicken breast, buy one get one free fish, some canned veg, some actual veg, and a lime that somehow escaped the haul table. Moving on to prep. We're making some bread. 300 milliliters of water, packet of yeast, 450 grams of flour, and some salt. And now we're making some mayonnaise. We're going to do a little math and break down the cost of our homemade mayonnaise. For 8 ounces of oil, it is 58 cents. 1 egg is 18 cents. And we're going to save 4 cents for mustard, salt, and pepper. It's probably even less than that. So for 10 ounces of mayo, it's 80 cents. Even the cheapy stuff at Walmart, $2.97 for 30 ounces. If we did the math for 30 ounces of ours, it would be $2.40. So we are saving money, and also we have canola oil and egg on hand all the time anyway, so it just makes sense. With that mayonnaise, we're going to go ahead and add some sour cream and make ranch dressing, adding an obscene amount of garlic powder here, slightly less obscene amount of Italian seasoning, salt and pepper, adding a little water for consistency, and you got yourself a pretty tasty ranch. So I'll be the first to admit that this might be a bad idea, but we went through that first one so quickly I thought if I sliced them thin they might last longer. It really didn't last any longer, but we still got some pretty good snacks out of them. Also had some egg and toast breakfasts. It's lunchtime, and we're going to start with my normal veggie lunches. That is 3 servings of onion. We're going to saute up and add 3 servings of spinach, 1 can of cannellini bean, and 1 can of petite diced tomato. That gives us about 4 servings of veggies per meal when you divide this by 3. If you add 3 ounces of protein, that's about 30 grams of protein per meal. My husband always takes peanut butter crackers and apples for work. With our frozen chicken breast, we also had some chicken sandwiches for lunch this week. Topping this one with some mozzarella cheese. Now we have a cheddar version. And this one I liked because I put a little lemon zest from my Meyer Lemon Tree Lemons in the ranch, and that was pretty tasty. With those leftover beans, I made a bean and cheese dip. It tastes better than it looks. And also, don't tell my husband I'm dipping straight into the container. I would get after him for that, so let's just keep that between us. For dinner this week, we started off with a delicious looking salad that we had with our frozen Red Baron pizza. I'm dipping in the container and eating in bed. I'm the worst. For dinner number 2, gonna bake up some chicken. And to go with our chicken, I'm going to try something a little bit different, at least different for my household. I'm going to make some cheesy rice. It's like the half-sister of mac and cheese, but it's rice and cheese. I'm sure y'all have it all the time, but we hardly ever have it here. So it's new for us. We're making a chicken ranch sandwich. The one from lunch was so good, we wanted to have it for dinner. I asked my husband to cube up some pork for me to try something else later in life. But after that, we did just make up this pork in the Instant Pot for tacos. Did manage to save a couple bags in the freezer for future meals. And I will spare you the gory details, but yes, I did save my fat and meat jelly again to be put in the freezer as well. So since we're making tacos, we have to make tortillas. 1 cup of flour, a bit of bacon fat there, a little bit of salt. Buzz it up until it pulls away from the sides of the container. Looks like my shape's got a bit better this time. Here are our toppings to work with today. And I think I like my husband's plating better from last week. It had more flair. Messy flair, but flair. But these were delicious. Now we're moving on to kind of a heat and serve situation. We did boil up some rice. Gonna heat up some fish and some peas and plate it up. So on top of our fish, we usually just slather some mayonnaise and squirt some mustard on there. I get that some people probably use tartar sauce. What do you put on yours? I'm curious to know how other people serve these fish portions if you ever have them at home. We also had this in a separate meal for dinner number 5 with broccoli on the side. Unlike the DiGiorno pizza, this Red Baron pizza didn't really stand the test of fridge time. It didn't look appetizing, frankly, except maybe for some kind of snack or a quick lunch or something. So we decided to pull everything out of the fridge and see if we could make our own summer sausage pizza. Before this week, I never thought of putting summer sausage on a pizza, but it's actually really good. Serve that with a handful of salad and that homemade ranch dressing that I'm dripping everywhere. And you have dinner number 6. Looks like our final meal is a fridge cleanout meal. Take a little of our bacon fat to use as our cooking liquid. Fry up some veggies. Add a little chicken stock for moisture. Chopped chicken. Leftover rice. And some cheese bits. Putting the lid on there so everybody gets commingled. Serving some garlic bread on the side of what we are calling midnight rice. Here's what's left over in our pantry. Looks like we hit the rice pretty hard this week. Also have that jalapeno summer sausage. Bunch of eggs, some butter, that diced pork that I want to do something with next week, some petite diced tomatoes, one of my meals, a tiny bit of sour cream. I think that's a pulled pork chicken combo. Didn't even crack the seal on that butter. Moving on to the freezer, we do have what we were able to put in there from the pork butt. Still have one left. We have 2 pieces of crispy fish left and a whole nother box down there under the chicken breast. Those are refried beans, onion remnants, and looks like no ice cream sandwiches this week. So that wraps up another $50 week. Thank you for joining Fakakta Fakasha. Tune in next week to see what we get up to. Bye.